Good morning, all of you. This is Nageswara Rao, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College, Chintalapudi. In this presentation, we will discuss about what is ocean thermal energy conversion. We know nowadays we are totally is most of them are depending on the conventional energy resources, but by time it may be reduced in quantity. After some years may not be available. So that our aim is to introduce new energy sources, that is renewable energy resources, such as solar energy, wind energy, and hydrological energy, and one of them is ocean energy. So there is so many sources, energy sources we have by using the ocean. Throughout the world, 70% is occupied by oceans and seas, and only remaining 30% is occupied by land. So that by using these oceans and sources, seas, we can produce a huge amount of energy. Maybe it is electrical energy or maybe useful work. So depending on the properties of these energy sources, sources may be classified into four types. The one is ocean thermal energy conversion, in which the difference in temperature on the surface of the ocean and depth of the ocean. So there is some difference in between nearly 15 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius we have. By using that temperature difference, we can produce electricity. That is based on the ocean thermal energy conversion. And second one is tidal energy. We know tidal energy is due to the attractive force or a gravitation attraction between the sun and earth and moon and earth. Due to this gravitational attraction, there is a tides are formed at the coastal area. By using these tides, we can produce electricity. And third type of ocean energy is wave energy. Due to this wind, which is flowing on the top of the sea, and also difference in temperature, so the waves are formed on the surface of the sea or maybe ocean. By using this waves, we can produce electricity. This is under the class of wave energy. And fourth one is hydrological cycle. We know very well because most of the people in the world, nearly 25% to 30% nowadays, we are using this hydrological energy in the form of tidal electricity. So in which we know the due to this heat radiation, maybe sun radiation, the water is evaporated and move upwards. Due to this difference in temperature or maybe due to difference in pressure and density, these vapors will move towards the land and where it falls as rain. This rain again moves through the canals and rivers and enter into the sea. So this is called hydrological cycle. By using this hydrological cycle also, nowadays we are producing so much quantity of energy. So see here, this is the sound. There is a one tide. By using these tides, we can produce a huge quantity of electrical energy. Of course, out of these four energy sources, there is except the one that is a tidal energy. Remaining three is independent or depending on the source of solar radiation. That is maybe ocean energy conversion and wind energy, that is wave energy, and hydrological cycle. These three are depending on the solar radiation. But only tidal energy is depending on the gravitational force of the between Earth and Sun or Earth and Moon. So one by one, we will discuss about these four energy sources of the ocean. So the conversion of solar energy stored as heat in the ocean into electrical energy by using the difference in temperature between warm surface water and cold deep water in conversion in the ocean thermal energy conversion. We know when the solar rays is incident on the surface of the water, where the due to this temperature, the temperature is increases at the surface, nearly 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. When it is the depth of the water, the temperature decreases. Due to this difference in temperature, we can produce electricity. You see, this is the procedure to get the electrical energy or maybe useful work by using this difference in temperature. You see here, this is very cold water Asian. This is a hot water region, the surface of the sea. Due to this difference in temperature, some heat is produced. That heat is used to convert the low boiling organic liquid into the vapor. That vapor generator run the turbine in a generator. Due to this generator, the electricity will generate. So this is the process which occurs in the oceanic thermal energy conversion. And of course, we may use thermocouple also to produce electrical energy by using this difference in temperatures at the surface of the ocean and inner side of the ocean. We know thermocouple is a couple is nothing but there is a two dissimilar metals. Two dissimilar metals are clubbed at the two edges called junctions. One junction is at a low temperature, another temperature is kept at high temperature. Due to this difference in temperature, so the current is generated, or EMF is generated in this thermocouple. By using this principle, also we can produce electricity by using this difference in temperature. But most of the countries are getting energy by using these organic liquids to run the turbine in a generator. Of course, the facilities are proposed for achieving this conversion is commonly referred as ocean thermal energy conversion because it is from the ocean source. Thermal energy is nothing but due to the heat radiation and it is converted into the electrical energy. So that this is called ocean thermal energy conversion. And the second type of energy we know that is tidal energy. Tides is nothing but periodic rise and fall at the coastal area. Why it is happening here? Because due to this gravitational force between water of the earth and the sun and water of the earth and moon. So due to this gravitational force, there is a tide up or maybe rise happens. Where due to this rotation of the earth, there is a fall is also occurs. So these are rise and fall of water at the coastal area is called tides. So tides are primarily caused by lunar, that is due to the moon, and the second are called solar, that is called due to the sun gravitation. So by using these tides or maybe wave energy, we can produce electricity. One by one, we will discuss how can we produce electricity using these tides of tidal energy. So the power in the ocean has been part of human experience for thousands of years, for the boat running and maybe small just to fishermen will use these wind maybe with these waves or maybe these tides to move in on the surface of the water to get the fishes. So not only that, for the human people, but our for long history, we are using this power of the ocean for various purposes. And third one is hydrological cycle. That is due to this hydrological cycle, we are getting rainfall because we know due to this heavy temperature and the sun radiation, the water changes into the as vapor and move upwards. Due to this difference in density, this water vapor will move towards the land. So on the land, due to this difference in temperatures and the cold atmosphere, the vapor changes into the liquid state and fall as rain. And of course, this rain will move through the rivers and maybe canals, and these water stored at the back of the barrages or maybe bridges. By using this storing water, we can produce electricity that is called hydroelectric projects. So this is where the hydrological cycle, this is our actually ocean, maybe our sea. Due to this sun radiation, the water vapor will move upwards. Due to this difference in pressure or maybe density, the water vapor will move towards the land. Due to this forest area or maybe due to these long temperature differences, this water vapor condensated as water rain and so that it will fall as rain. This rain will move towards the canals or maybe rivers and again entered into the sea or maybe ocean. So this is a cycle. So this is called hydrological cycle. Due to this flow of water, these water may be stopped at some of the bridges, maybe some of the barrages, and it acquires some potential energy. When we convert that potential energy into convert kinetic energy, by using that kinetic energy, we can produce electricity. And hydroelectricity, of course, throughout the world, we are utilizing nearly 25% of the total consumption of the power. And the remaining 75%, maybe most probably that is conventional energy sources, maybe from the thermal energy stations, and maybe gas power stations, and the solar energy, and wind energy, and maybe so nuclear energy, etc. Must nearly 25% of the electrical utilization is by the hydroelectricity throughout the world. Now we will observe what is the principle of ocean thermal energy conversion. Actually, this was firstly proposed by a scientist, D. Arsenval, in 1881. He is a French scientist, and he also shows that this is the indirect form of solar energy. Because we know due to this indirect form, we are saying that when the sun radiation is incident on the surface of the water or maybe sea, whose temperature increases, in which solar energy is absorbed by the surface of water of the ocean. So the temperature it increases and it acts as a corrector. So this is a storage device. Thus heat stored in the water containing oceans. And of course, this is the surface of the sea or maybe ocean. When due to the sun rays is incident on the surface of the ocean, the temperature is nearly 25 degrees Celsius. Of course, depending on the area, maybe that is equator, the temperature of the surface water increases more very much. And at the Capricorn or maybe Tropic of Cancer, the temperature may be reduced. And at the North Pole and South Pole, the temperature is very, very less. But at the equator, we know the temperature is very, very high. So that the temperature of the surface of the sea is very, very high. When we are going depth, at nearly 1 kilometer depth, the temperature is very, very less, that is less than 30 degrees Celsius. So in this case, the temperature difference in the surface water and depth of the sea is nearly 15 degrees Celsius, more than 15 degrees Celsius. By using this temperature difference, we can produce electricity or maybe convert it into the useful work. See here, that is, well, let us consider a depth at dx. The intensity may be taken as I. How can we calculate this intensity of radiation absorbed by the surface of water? So this is solar energy that can be converted into electrical energy by utilizing the difference in temperature between the warm surface water of the sea and cold water available in the depth of the sea. Of course, in most of the areas, particularly at the equator, we know the solar radiation normally incident and of course very shorter distance and is compared with the remaining places. So that due to this solar radiation normally incident on the sea, the temperature of the surface water is very high. So the difference in temperature, it may be arise nearly 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. Due to this difference in temperature, by using this heat energy, we can boil organic liquid whose boiling point is very, very low. So due to this temperature difference, that heat is converting this organic fluid into the organic gas. So that vapor can rotate the turbine in the generator and can generate electricity according to the Faraday's law. So that vapor runs a heat engine, and the amount of heat available for ocean thermal energy power the generation is enormous and is continuously. So this may be see there is ocean thermal energy plant. Already told you this is a cold water area where the temperature is nearly 5 degrees Celsius. There is the surface area whose temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. There is a temperature difference is 25 minus 5, that is nearly 20 degrees Celsius. So due to this flow of water from the difference in temperature, there is a ammonium pump, maybe that is that liquid may convert into the vapor, that is evaporator is there. That evaporator gas or maybe organic liquid or maybe organic gas or vapor will move along this direction and where the turbine can generate. When this turbine, the file which rotates in the magnetic field, so that rotating the file will generate electricity. We know according to the electromagnetic induction. In according to electromagnetic induction, we know the coil when it is rotated in the magnetic field, it cuts the magnetic flux so that it produces electromotive force. The same principle here also will be used to produce electricity, that is ocean thermal energy plant. So what is the intensity of the solar radiation at some of the depth of the sea? We don't know. So to calculate the intensity of solar radiation at the sum of the depth of it, maybe x or maybe dx, we will calculate as follows by using the Lambert's law of absorption. We know the intensity of solar radiation at depth x is directly proportional to intensity of the solar radiation at the surface of the sea, and of course it is directly inversely proportional to thickness of the water layer. So that dAx is proportional to that is intensity at the depth dx is equal to proportional to intensity of solar radiation I and dx. Of course, from that dAx is equal to minus ki into dx. Actually, that is proportional to minus I into dx. That proportionality may be replaced by something k, is proportionality constant. So from this, when I is coming this side, di by I is equal to minus k into dx. We know when taking integration of this equation, that is log I is equal to minus k into x. After from that I is equal to, actually some constant integration comes in I now into e to the power minus k. So the intensity of the solar radiation by depth x is exponentially decreases. So by using this solar radiation or maybe intensity of radiation, we can generate electricity. Of course, here I naught is the intensity of solar radiation at the surface of the ocean, and I is the intensity of solar radiation absorbed by the water at a depth of x. Of course, this temperature of the surface water of the ocean act as a surface, act as a source actually, and with the depth, the sea act as a sink. So where the source are having high temperature, the sink is at low temperature. Due to this difference in temperature, that works as a generator. So these two temperatures are useful for the working of heat engine and produces mechanical energy. At the same time, the heat absorbed by the low boiling organic liquid vapor rotate the generator and produce electricity. So that this vapor may be used for the production of mechanical energy as well as to produce electricity. So of course, when we use this electrical generator, that water vapor will use that kinetic mechanical energy into the electrical energy. And maybe directly by using this mechanical energy, we can run the machines. So this is about the ocean and thermal energy conversion. Thank you.